Hello girls! Today I'll share my earliest pregnancy symptoms during the 2-week wait, before the big fat positive, before missed period, with all the TMI details, so stay tuned. And if you're new here, then welcome! It's so nice to have you here. My name is Karyna. I'm a full-time mom. I have a 2-year-old daughter, Michaela, and I'm currently pregnant with a baby boy. And if you're new, you probably don't know, but I was still breastfeeding when I got pregnant with my second child. And here on my channel, I create videos on numerous motherhood topics, including breastfeeding, nutrition, natural births, product reviews, baby food and snacks reviews, where I share my experience, ideas, tips and tricks to try and make motherhood and fatherhood just a bit easier on you. So if this sounds like something you'd like to watch, please consider subscribing. I post a new video every single Thursday, but now I also do bonus videos. They go live here and there different days of the week, so I recommend you to hit the bell icon to get notified every time my new videos go live. So let's get into it. I know if you're watching this video, most probably you are in the 2-week wait period, and I feel you, girl. I know how it feels to be in that 2-week period, especially when I was pregnant my first time around. I couldn't wait to find out, and then I just shared the video where I told you about our trying to conceive journey the second time around when I was breastfeeding. It was a little different. Watch that video after this video is done. And spoiler alert, I told you in there that it took us a little longer for different kind of reasons. Some of them are very silly from my side. But whenever it was time to find out this pregnancy, if I was pregnant, I was not getting my hopes up. So I was not really listening to my body as much, because I actually did not want to get disappointed as I did the first month we were trying to conceive. So that's why my early pregnancy symptoms might be different from my first pregnancy, but I really think that those two pregnancies are very different, and I'll be sharing more about that in my future pregnancy updates. But even from the beginning, despite the fact that I was not trying to get my hopes up, the symptoms were very different. And I do have a video about my first pregnancy, early pregnancy symptoms. I will have it linked up here and in the description below for you. And today I will also compare my first and second pregnancy. So let's dive into it. I have written down what has been happening with me. So after ovulation, I did not have any notes until about 5 days DPO. And again, since I was breastfeeding, my cycle was not regular, and I can't tell you exactly when I was ovulating, so I'm assuming that I was 5 days DPO. It could have been 4, could have been even 3, it could have been 6, so but let's call it 5 days DPO. I've been doing ovulation tests, and they were kind of telling me when I was about to ovulate, so this is how I assume I was ovulating. Also just some signs like breast tenderness and discharge. And again, this video is going to be TMI, and if you're here, you probably expect that. So yeah, this is a warning. So 5 days DPO. I was feeling very sad and like even depressed. I was feeling self-conscious. I was about to cry for no reason. And that does happen to me sometimes. It was also right before full moon. Full moon affects me a lot too. So I did not pay attention a lot. Also, a week before that, I had my family over, and they were helping me with my daughter Michaela. So I kind of got a little lazy, and then they left, and I had to do everything myself again. So I thought that was because of that. I was just trying to go back into the routine, and it was hard for me. I also had a lower back ache, and this is very common thing for me. Again, like I can have it every month, any time of the cycle, and I guess that's because they told me that my uterus is tilted back a little bit, which is completely normal, and my first labor was completely back labor. So whenever something's going on in my uterus, I do feel like a lower backache when I'm on my period as well. So again, I did not pay too much attention to that because it happens to me all the time, and that first months when we were trying to conceive our second baby, I had a lot of that, and I thought, yeah, that's for sure the pregnancy symptom, and it was not. So again, I did not pay attention to my lower backache at 5 DPO. At 6 DPO, I had the same very bad mood. I was feeling down, and honestly, those 2 days were very hard mentally, and I really thought that something's happening to me. Like, am I getting depressed? Like, what is it? I think at that point, or I don't remember when was that exactly, but I took like a test to see if I am becoming depressed, and I was not, thank God, but it was concerning. It was really concerning to me. I don't have it written down here, but I remember that I also been feeling a very strong breastfeeding aversions, and I told you about that in my breastfeeding while pregnant video. And I remember that was the weekend when I actually cried on the floor of my bathroom after Michaela fell asleep, because I was feeling so guilty for feeling an aversion to her breastfeeding. It was a whole spectrum of emotions. It was hard. Then 7 days DPO, says I told my app that I had a great mood and I had no other symptoms. 8 days DPO, lower backache and hot flashes. I wrote it down at 8 DPO because they keep happening to me, and I realized that that's not normal. I never get hot flashes. I just was getting hot all of a sudden. Like, I was not running or doing something extremely difficult physically or anything like that. Just all of a sudden I would get a hot flash and then it would go away. And I think that was happening at 7 DPO and then at 8 DPO as well. And I wrote it down then when I realized that that's not normal, and oh, that might be a sign. And this is completely different from my pregnancy first time around. I did not have any hot flashes. That's like the first time I experienced that in my life. So next is 9 DPO. I wrote headache, I wrote low appetite, and I have been working out. I started a different routine. It was already a third month of us trying to conceive, so I really did not want to get my hopes up. I tried to don't think about that. I even started doing a workout I wouldn't typically do if I thought I would be pregnant, because it included some like jumping jacks, and I actually enjoyed that very much. I remember like feeling so good about my workout and how I'm feeling in general, and after my mood became better, I really started feeling really good. So that was 8 DPO, no, that was 9 DPO. Then 10 DPO, I said that I was happy and energetic, and I had another great workout. I enjoyed it a lot. I even remember like I was so proud of myself. I was so productive that day. And that day at 10 DPO, I assumed that I was 10 DPO, right? I got my first positive. So I was about 4 days before my missed period. And after my workout, I decided to take a quick shower, and I was thinking, in how long is my period coming? I was like, okay, it's only in 4 days. Should I try to take a test? And I really thought it's not gonna show anything, at least because it would be too early, because I was doing those regular cheap Amazon tests. And I was like standing in my bathroom naked, about to get in the shower, checking my test, and it showed a line, and I couldn't believe it. I was so happy. So then I definitely started writing down even more symptoms, because I'm like, okay, now I'm pregnant, I need to write down all those little symptoms before my missed period. So that same day I wrote that in the evening I felt like I was getting irritated easier than usual. I was raising my voice for no reason. I was like on the verge of tears anytime I would have a little argument with my husband. So I felt extra emotional. I'm a very emotional person myself, but I wrote down that I felt extra emotional. poor husband. So I also noticed that day, I realized that in the past week, I was sleeping more than usual. I wanted to sleep in, I wanted to go to sleep earlier than usual, and again, I did not pay attention to that. And then I realized, yeah, it could be a sign. So that's what I wrote at 10 DPO. Next is 11 DPO. I wrote a lot of symptoms, by the way. I wrote feeling some light cramps in the lower abdomen, and that was like actually one of the biggest signs with Michaela. Feeling those little tiny like menstrual cramps, but not menstrual cramps. They are not as painful. And that month when I thought I was pregnant, I was feeling them every day, all day. That was crazy. So I also started feeling lazy and sleepy. I don't know if it's mental, and I knew I was pregnant and I started feeling lazy and sleepy. It's funny, but I'm not that kind of person who would let myself being lazy just because I'm pregnant. So I think it was a sign. Feeling lazy, sleepy. But I also wrote that Michaela woke up a lot that night. Maybe that's why I was feeling sleepy, because she was still breastfed, she was still sleeping with us a lot, and maybe that was the reason. I also wrote that I was feeling a lot of mom guilt that day for not having a quality time with Mika enough, because I was less productive and more tired. I also wrote that I have been feeling really hungry earlier than I would usually get hungry, and I also noticed that I started craving carbs and sweets. But again, even if I would be getting my period, usually I start craving carbs and sweets before my period. Then I wrote cramps in the lower abdomen, feeling dizzy after walking. I also felt some period-like overall feeling, like when you're actually in your period, like first, second day, when you have that pressure on your lower back and your lower abdomen. I felt that like overall period feeling, I call it. I also noticed that I did have a mild fatigue. It was not just laziness, but it was already getting to a fatigue stage. I took a nap with Michaela. I had cravings, lower backache, and bloating at 11 DPO. 12 DPO, I felt happy and I was getting hungry fast. I felt some pulling feeling in the lower abdomen. The lower belly felt heavy and bloated, backache in the evenings, and I wrote that I was feeling chills for the last week or so. I just realized that I have been feeling chills, like that feeling when you about to get sick. And I was really worried because it's coronavirus time and I did not want to get sick, and I just got pregnant, so I was a little worried about that, but I was feeling those chills on and off for the last week. Then 13 days DPO, I was feeling again sad, again depressed, lower backache, a little dizzy and lightheaded, lower belly pressure, and that sadness and depression-like theme was happening throughout my whole first trimester, and I'm gonna do a first trimester recap. I'll tell you about that more. And it was probably one of the biggest challenges this time around, my mental state, not health, but my mental state during the first trimester with this pregnancy. And then 14 days DPO, that's the day before my missed period, as I assume, right? I was feeling happy, energetic, still bloated. I started having that creamy discharge, that pregnancy creamy discharge. Lower belly feels full, bloated, some cramps here and there. And I was pretty happy and energetic. Again, you see how those mood swings, like yesterday I was sad and depressed, next day I'm happy and energetic, which is great. I don't want to be sad and depressed every day, but this is crazy to swing that much, because if I wrote down that I was happy and energetic, that means that I was really happy and really energetic. But I was also feeling a little weak, and again, that chills and feeling like I'm getting sick. That's it. The next day was supposedly my missed period, and my tests started becoming darker and darker, that second line, and I was already sure that that's definitely happening and I'm not imagining lines. And then I kept writing down my symptoms, and I'll share that in the next video, but those are the symptoms that I had before the big fat positive, during the 2-week wait period, before my missed period. So if you're feeling any of those, I can't tell you for sure if you're pregnant, I'm so sorry. With Michaela, I also had some light bleeding, super light bleeding. I'm talking about just 1 or 2 drops, and that was the implantation bleeding. This time around, I did not have any whatsoever, not even 1 brownish drop, not at all. But if you're looking for that sign, look for something very little amount, and it's usually either brown or pinkish. If it's red, that's probably just spotting before your period. That also happened to me that first month we were trying to conceive. I thought I was having that implantation bleeding, but then it started to increase little by little, and it was red. It was not pink or brown. I wanted to believe that it was pink, but it was red, and then I got my period. So what else to look out for? Those little cramps in your lower abdomen. If you in general feel different than usual, that also might be a sign. But I hope this video was helpful, and I'm so sorry I can't tell you if you are pregnant because you're having the same symptoms as me or not. You see, even me, the same person, had completely different symptoms with 2 different pregnancies. As far as was breastfeeding affecting my early pregnancy symptoms, I don't think so. I think they would be different whether I would be breastfeeding or not. It's just different pregnancies are different, and that's all about it. So thank you so much for watching this video. If it was interesting and helpful, make sure to give it a big like so that more moms can see this video, and leave me a comment about how is your 2-week wait going. Have you seen a fainted line yet? And if you have any other video topic suggestions, leave them in the comments below. If you have any questions, feel free to also leave them in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe to my channel for a fresh video every single Thursday. And today I want to wish you to see that big fat positive as soon as possible, and I'll see you next week. Bye.